I have an issue. Everyone is so worried about what other people are doing and feeling in their own lives. We all know there's people out there that can't handle someone who thinks or acts differently from themselves. They'll vilify you because of your political ideas, your sexual orientation, the color of your skin, or just plain old being different from their idea of how a person should act, think, or identify. But how does that affect them? Well, I'll tell you. It doesn't. They'll use so-called morals that they are obviously lacking. They'll quote the Bible, the same Bible that tells you to love one another and to not judge because it's not your fucking job. It's God's. But I think they're just afraid of change and actions that are different from their own mindset. Hopefully one day this will all pass. There are just as many people, if not more, that are tolerant of everything. There are people who don't worry about who you are as long as you're comfortable with who you are. But let's get back to the word tolerant. Tolerance is not a one-way street. It needs to go both ways. If someone offends you with something they said or did, you shouldn't immediately start yelling and screaming, unless it was blatant or intentional. If that's the case, then fucking have at it. If not, maybe you should explain, because maybe they didn't know what they did or said was wrong and would gladly correct it. Example, if you identify as a different gender and you're wearing jeans and a hoodie, have 5 o'clock shadow, and sound like Brad Garrett from Everybody Loves Raymond, and someone calls you sir, don't start swearing and flipping shit over. Explain, correct, and be tolerant of the person, because it's not always evident that that's who you are. If you want tolerance, then you also have to be tolerant to people ignorant of your lifestyle or ideas. Speaking of tolerance, Mike's not here again. Apparently he hurt his back kicking over a display at GameStop. He'll be back soon, so be tolerant. More so when he's back, God knows we are. But we've got the situation under control. We also have a major announcement, so we should get this thing started. Maestro, my tolerance is wearing thin, so hit that music.
Hey, this is Dave with Brad and Craig. Welcome back to Needless to Say. I guess I'm the new guy.
That's right.
Ready to get it started.
Yeah. Hey, yep.
We're going to say welcome back to Needless to Say, and we're going to say welcome to Needless to Say.
Yep.
Even though I think the writing was already on the wall, and we all kind of knew this from about 8-9 minutes in to the very first episode he was on.
With you.
We made it official for the new year. The official 4th member of Needless to Say. Gentlemen, in the middle. Welcome aboard, Dave.
Welcome aboard, Dave.
Clingy, clingy.
Clingy, clingy. Yeah, it was fun. It was a few minutes into the first episode you came and did with us. Me and Brad kind of gave each other a look like,
yeah,
he gets it. You were good. You knew how. I don't know. It was funny. You just fit right in, and you knew how it worked a little bit. So it was just. It was good.
It made me want to believe that you actually listen to the show. Now, since talking to you, I know you don't.
Yeah.
But at the time, it's all about appearances.
Yeah.
And you're putting it out there. And one of the things I like about this, not to get too deep into Dave coming on board, it's just another voice to, somebody to make fun of, somebody to laugh at.
Yes.
But truth is, as you can tell, there's only 3 of us here tonight.
Yeah.
And this gives us a little more flexibility for people to do just that.
To do what they have to do.
So you're not relegated to me and Craig getting giddy.
Yep.
Or me pimping out my wife on the radio.
Yeah.
I think this is a good. I didn't mean that, honey.
And this for some reason.
Wait a second. I missed that.
Yeah. For some reason, every time she's on, I get hammered. Every time I'm around your wife drinking, I get bombed out of my mind.
Yeah. How do you think I married her?
I don't know.
She more or less told me.
Yeah. I went to Brad's house one day on a Sunday. We were just going to write a little something. We were writing something, and I went to your house, and she showed up about an hour in.
Yeah.
And I was only supposed to be at Brad's house for about an hour or so. I left. It was dark out.
It was also Sunday.
It was a Sunday, and I was hammered.
So a couple of weeks later, Craig and I had done a solo episode, and we didn't really drink. I started and finished the episode with a large cup of Dunkin' Donuts coffee.
Yep.
And then my wife showed up, and she's like the beer fairy.
Yeah, exactly.
And Craig apparently had lost all his teeth.
Yeah.
And she just showed up with a 12-pack and a smile.
Yeah.
And said, Craig, here. And then he got home, and as soon as you got home, Fran was like, what the fuck? It's Sunday, and you're bombed.
I was bombed. She's like, what the hell happened to you? Like, you left talking about drinking coffee, and you came back hammed. I was slotched. Yep.
And so the other night, more or less the same thing.
Yes.
But halfway through the episode, I said, Craig, you're doing it.
Yeah, my voice started changing.
He starts talking through his teeth. Everything's a little funnier than it actually is.
Yep, exactly.
One of those...
Can go.
Huh?
I said we're finished, so you guys can go.
Oh, I know. We're actually on the air, honey.
The beer fairy, ladies and gentlemen.
That's right. The beer fairy and the radio professional. I right now.
Thank you, Melissa. She's awesome, man.
Yeah, she did a great job last week, and every
Great
time she's
episode.
been on, she's been great.
Had a lot of fun last week. It was a good time.
We have got some requests. Now, I think it's because a lot of people either are sweet on my wife
Yeah.
or just like the fact that maybe a female is what this show actually needs.
Yeah.
But we got the next
We
best
got
thing.
Dave.
We got Dave.
I was getting pissed as he was saying that, but I was like, it wasn't that bad.
I think actually the initiation should be just spend an hour with my wife and tell her you don't want to drink.
Yeah.
You're going to walk out of here upside down.
Yep. Oh, man. No, I'm glad when we asked that you said yes and you wanted to be a part of this because this is awesome. This is awesome, man.
Yeah, no, it's a lot of fun. I'll be honest though, I'm here on the off chance we go back to Comic-Con and Wonder Woman's there. That's it.
Well, we started it in the hopes of just getting free tickets to Comic-Con. So
That works.
it works.
Instead, we became the only booth in that place to take like a $400 loss.
Yeah.
On the weekend. We sold nothing.
I took a way bigger loss than that.
That's a good point.
Yeah, it wasn't a loss.
You lost your dignity.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
No, I did. Comic-Con was definitely part of our plans. And we didn't think we were going to actually even get there this year. We just kept saying, oh, that's then. That's way off in the future.
Yeah.
So actually, your thinking is good because it's a mere 11 months away.
And we've talked and we've discussed a return. So
Yeah.
Oh, we'll be
Yeah.
back. And I
Yeah.
guarantee you we're not the only podcast this year.
yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm just joking. The real reason is my wife wants to meet Jason Momoa. That's it. She said, you go hang out with my cousin for 10 months,
Yeah.
get me there, and then you can quit.
Then you okay. All right.
You gotta love Jason Momoa. It's been a big year for Samoa.
Yeah.
You got
right?
him, you got The Rock, and it's like a whole bunch of guys who are good looking but can't act.
Yeah.
It's great for
It's
that
great.
island.
Yeah.
Does The Rock count anymore? He's more just kind of a thing.
That's
Yeah.
President Rock to you.
Oh, sorry.
That's
The Rock Obama. What the hell are we talking about?
The Rock Obama. Probably have the same approval rating.
Right.
oh man.
So how was New Year's, folks?
It was good. I was proud of myself. Took a lift to the party, took a lift home from the party. No drinking and driving, none of that foolish stuff. And
Every night we record, he has no problem throwing me in that passenger seat.
I will lift you right to the hospital. Let's go.
no, it's not worth it, man. It's not worth
No,
it.
it's
not
too
worth
easy.
it. It's
But
too easy. Yeah.
Those Lyft and Uber, super easy, super
yeah.
cheap, right?
super cheap, easy,
Yep.
and I mean it was perfect.
I took
It was
one back from
perfect.
the airport in the middle of the afternoon. It was $18.
Right,
Why?
Yeah,
Or
from
I
the
could have
airport.
bothered 4 friends.
right.
Or I could have taken a bus for 3.5 hours into Providence and then back out.
Yeah.
Or a cab and taking your life into your hands.
Exactly.
yeah. Yeah.
You'd have to sell a kidney to do it.
Right.
You know? But it's too easy. I mean, granted, some drivers are better than others. But on
Right.
New Year's Eve, the A-team's out because they're going to make mad cash.
They're gonna make a bunch
Right.
of money. Yeah.
And I'm sure you
And I tipped very well.
always.
I tipped cash and on the app.
The best thing to do
You know what I mean?
is get their number and have your own personal Lyft driver. I actually have an airport guy, and I got a bus station guy.
Perfect.
And I can just call him and say, if you're in the area, come get me. And he'll let me know right away if I don't have a time for him. He'll come pick me up.
Yep. No, that's cool, man. No, but I was proud about that. I went to Mike's house and we had a good time, and it was just comfortable knowing I'm not driving.
Don't have to worry about it.
I don't have to worry about a thing. So I'll do this extra shot of tequila. Just throw it in there, you know? And when we got home, when I woke up in the morning, I said to my wife, I tipped the guy, right? She said, yes, you did. I said, did I talk to him? She goes, oh, yeah, you talked to him. She goes, you actually talked to him from the second he picked us up until the second he dropped us off.
You know damn well you talked to him.
And
You told him the same story 4 times.
After he laughed.
Yeah.
Right. But that's the traffic.
Yeah, pretty much. That's the way it was going. But it was fine. But, I mean, it was good. Got a good rating, you know, so it didn't, you know, apparently I wasn't out of control. I mean, I knew I'm in somebody else's vehicle that I don't know. I'm not going to be an asshole no matter how drunk I am.
3-year stretch at the Kinsman where every Sunday morning I would text Sharon, the bartender, and say, how was I last night?
Yes.
And I drove home most of those nights.
Yeah.
And, you know, after a while you realize just how stupid that is because Lyft existed back then, too.
Yeah.
So, live and learn. But, you know, I thought it was a great message up until you said the best part of this wasn't the safety and the security. It was, I'll have that extra shot. It wasn't even good shit. I know it came in a bottle that you could squeeze.
Yeah.
I know that for a fact.
No, it wasn't bad.
He was like John Cuervo.
John Cuervo. Joe Cuervo. Yeah.
Well, that would be even better. Joan Cuervo. Jesse Cuervo.
There was a worm in the bottom of the bottle, but they didn't put it in there during shipping.
Worked its way in.
They just made its way in.
It's just a jar of worms soaked in tequila. You gotta eat the worms.
Yeah.
What'd you do, Dave?
I did as little as possible. I went the full parent route this year. We got a 1-year-old, right?
Yes.
So my wife's like, all right, I'm gonna put the baby upstairs to bed. So she goes upstairs, comes back down. I'm watching Dr. Pimple Popper. Have you guys ever seen this woman?
No, when you said that, because you had texted that.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, what the fuck is he talking about? And within 20 minutes, the commercial came on.
There it is.
And I was like, how did you watch that? And did you eat anything while you watched it?
No. See, those gross videos fascinate me. It's like I first saw the YouTube videos of her pulling disgusting things out of people's skin.
Yeah.
But she now has a TV show. It's probably on Lifetime or some garbage like that. But
yep.
Not garbage, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
It's on one of those channels.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's garbage.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Fair.
Yeah.
But I got hooked on the show and I was watching it and it just kept going. She came downstairs. She didn't oppose it.
And yeah.
It's one of those shows it was on and on and on and all right.
Yeah. Next thing I'm watching Zombie House for 6 hours on a Sunday or something.
Holy shit! It's next year.
Yeah.
Well, haunted houses and abscess skin are two entirely different things.
Yeah.
Depends on the haunted house.
That's a good point. But I gotta ask, I don't even like waking up with an ingrown hair. I can't imagine spending hours and my bandwidth streaming a show where they couldn't come up with a name a little more creative than Dr. Pimple Popper.
Yeah.
I don't know why it's fascinating to me what the human body will do. Out of the normal. I don't know why it was
just
weird.
ask Mike.
All right, yeah, let me, Mike. Oh, right.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe next week.
Yeah.
We have to put an echo effect in there. Mike.
Yeah, Mike. Exactly.
He's upstairs making snacks.
Yeah. Oh God.
Well, yeah. So we got to 11:30, and I was like, all right, let's just do the New Year's thing, and
yeah,
flipped over one of the network channels, and it was Steve Harvey, and I think it was Maria Menounos.
Horrendous.
Right. I cut over. Steve Harvey standing next to a 6-year-old kid that's dressed up to look like him. All I could think of was Kenan Thompson from Saturday Night Live doing his impression of every actor the same way.
Yeah.
Right? And
then Maria Menounos. Kenan Thompson. Hey, are you a black guy in Hollywood with a slight amount of weight? I got it.
That's it.
I'm taking that one.
Right?
No. It
was Maria Menounos having two people stuff marshmallows in their mouth. And I was like, click.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
It was terrible, which I like Steve Harvey.
Yeah, I do too.
I think he's funny. You know, he's like a good off-the-cuff guy, you know. Right. And you could see, well, he was trying to contain himself. Obviously, he's on live television, so he's trying to be
Right.
careful and dance around anything that,
As opposed to that loose freewheeling guy from Family Feud.
Yeah, exactly. No, but it was just funny, and I think I think that it kind of forced him to be rigid.
Yeah.
The whole thing, and it was very rigid, and it was bad. We were watching it we watched it last half hours as it wound up to, and I was like, "This is god awful." Man.
Right.
I'm like, "This is terrible." I mean, granted, slack jawed Dick Clark up there. You know,
I'll be honest. I missed the stroke face.
yeah, it would have been better with him if
I don't miss the show, just the face.
Right.
just
Like-
it would have been better with him now. If they, if they just propped up his rotted corpse against the wall and put a microphone in front of him.
David,
Happy
what?
New Year, everybody.
New Year's at Bernie's.
Yeah.
Dick Clark.
Yeah.
Dave would be he'd be googling that show right now. Dr. Stroker.
Right.
Yeah. Weekend at Dick Clark's fucking Rockin' Eve.
Probably less drool with the body.
But he's guaranteed he's mummified. That guy's had so
Did
much
anyone
shit done to
did
him.
any one of us say New Year's Rotten Eve yet?
Yeah, no.
Oh, there it is. Okay.
All right.
It's okay.
Turned away for 1 second. to make sure I'm not being a
That
hack.
was perfect. That was perfect. Oh man! But speaking of dead people,
Getting off to a bang.
this year is just slamming right out of the gate.
Oh, by the way, my New Year's was excellent. Thank you.
Oh, Dave. Yeah, Brad. Whatever your name is. I'm sorry.
Actually, it sucked. You can move on.
No, what did you do?
I did a little less than you and Dave.
Yeah.
I binged David Duchovny's Californication until 4 a.m. My birthday's next
That's a
week.
pervy. That's a pervy show, man.
Oh, it's great.
Is it?
Yeah.
I've never seen it.
The name of the show is Californication. I know that it's not as obvious a title as
right,
Dr.
right.
Pimple Pop.
I
Doesn't
gotta
really
catch
just
up.
put it out there for
Hey,
you.
I'm in Mike's seat tonight. Come on, like let's.
No, we didn't do shit, man. We let the kids ring it in, and then we were passed out 12:15.
Yeah.
That's it.
Just the way it is. I think we're still shot from this move. I know people are tired of hearing about it. It's been 3 or 4 episodes now, but I'm exhausted all the fucking time. But again, not as tired as the guy you're about to mention.
Yes.
So bring it in, brother. Although I feel like I should be the one to do it.
I think I think you should be the one to do it. I just jumped. We started talking about Dick Clark's Rotten Corpse, and I said Rotten Corpse is perfect segue.
It really was. and then I interrupted you just to tell you my New Year's sucked. So.
Yeah. No, it was good.
There are no humanitarian
No,
awards in the
it
future of the
was-
show.
so-
No.
Speaking of dead things like Dick Clark and Brad's New Year's. Tell me what happened.
Well, we got to raise our second glass of the evening.
Yes.
We've already toasted Dave, and we'll probably toast him again. But we got to raise a toast to the one and the only, the late, great, mean Gene Okerlund.
Yes.
Everybody knows I'm kind of the wrestling guy on this show.
You are.
I kind of been off it lately, but nobody wants to hear. Mean Gene was one of the real ones.
Well,
He was a legit funny dude.
It was funny because like when Chris Benoit like killed his family and hung himself with his exercise equipment.
That is funny.
Yeah, I thought it was funny.
Where's the drum kit?
And like
It's
people
over
like
at
that, when all these people are just dropping from roids and stuff, I'm like, all right, whatever. When I heard that that Mean Gene Okerlund died, I was kind of like, Mean Gene, because that's wrestling to me. When I was a kid, Mean Gene was the guy. He was, he interviewed all the wrestlers that I loved, Roddy Piper and Superfly Jimmy Snuka and all those guys. That was the wrestling that I watched. I was done watching wrestling before, what's his name there, Steve Austin, and those guys. I wasn't watching it anymore at that point. Great character, I'm not saying that, but Mean Gene was the guy, and that's why I always say, Let me tell you something, Gene Mean. Gene Mean. When Iron Sheik would call him Gene Mean was the best thing ever. I loved that.
What's crazy is like right after that, the Iron Sheik, he'd know the cameras would go off and he'd call him the little bald Jew.
Yes, exactly. Yep.
Mean Gene was all right. There was an old saying in wrestling that you had to imagine Vince McMahon saying your name over a microphone, and you had to imagine Gene Okerlund interviewing you.
Yeah.
And that's when you knew a nickname was good. And so I raise a glass to the guy because I think his biggest accomplishment was not laughing at so many of the bad gimmicks that we saw in the 80s. He maintained the straight man thing. He's actually one of the funniest dudes ever to work in that company.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh no, I was gonna say, when you were a kid, there was that age where, is wrestling real? Is it not? Is it state? Seeing this guy as a reporter, he kind of sold it like this is a real show. You know what I mean? Like,
real, yeah.
Like that's what I remember as a kid. Like, I was interviewing these guys. Like, all right, maybe this is real.
Could you imagine standing there so straight-faced and prepared to ask your next question while freaking the Ultimate Warrior is like spitting all over the place, his veins popping out of his neck, and just screaming, Or somebody else running into the room and busting him in the head and stuffing a snake in his mouth.
A couple of years ago, WWE did a reality show with all the old wrestlers, and they stuck them in a house, like the old Real World concept. And it was called Legends House, and Okerlund was there.
They just called it Crack House.
Did it have a ramp to the front door?
Yeah, it did, because they had not Bob Backlund, but it had Pat Patterson, Tony Atlas. Okay, you name it, and Roddy Piper was there.
Bob No Backlund.
Yeah. I don't know how they didn't name him after the fact he had no chin.
Yeah.
How do you wrestle with your chin in your neck? I don't understand it. But it was a funny show because they were kind of all making fun of it. Like Hillbilly Jim was there. And
God.
Gene Okerlund, they figured out, was nothing but a raging alcoholic. He just sat there and pouring heavy drinks from the moment he got up to the moment he left. One of the producers said, "Hey, Gene, you need to calm down a little bit with the drinking because you're not on enough video." Left the house to go find a bar and stayed there for 12 hours.
Really?
70-some-odd-year-old man.
Yeah.
And he drank himself. It's shocking. 2 kidney transplants, still kept drinking. The man's a horse. But he had actually the best soundbite ever on that show, and I had no idea he ever said it. He probably said it a million times in the 80s. And Craig, play it now.
Holy balls!
Holy balls.
Holy balls, he yelled. Yeah.
We are saving this for every moment on this show.
Yeah.
We're just going to, holy balls.
Holy balls. Me and Gene Okerlund just yelling, holy balls.
It's funny, is that wasn't even the biggest news in wrestling this week, though.
Oh, no?
I mean, to Mean Gene.
Well, to Mean Gene and everybody else who don't give a shit about wrestling. Because you're like, that wasn't the biggest news, and that kind of shocked me.
I want to know how Mean Gene would interview the next guy. The guy who played the Green Power Ranger, who's now like 58.
Yes.
Is going to be making his pro wrestling debut in 2019.
Jason David Frank.
Like it matters.
It does.
I said Green Power Ranger, and people didn't even realize there was one of them.
Yeah.
That's
he was the white Power Ranger. He was the green. He was the leader of the Power Rangers, man.
Yeah. At least my wrestlers live on Earth.
I have a lot of respect. I wasn't a huge Power Rangers fan or anything. I mean, I was in my freaking 20s, Granted, I watched it because Amy Jo Johnson was on it. But
she was so fuckable.
Yeah, and when I would when I would get home from
still
work,
good.
Okay.
When I would get home from work, it would be on, so I would always put it on and watch it. But I have to say, one of my first experiences at Rhode Island Comic Con was going in. It was the first one. He was there. Jason David Frank was there, and I never seen anybody so responsive to fans.
I'm sorry.
Then,
I think you meant
and
fan.
Still no. No, you would be amazed.
Really? Wow.
Amazed. He had a bigger line than Adam West at one point.
Wow.
But to see him come out, filming with his phone, filming the crowd and talking to the crowd and filming everybody and doing selfies with everybody in the crowd, standing on the table, and then going down. Some kid came up wearing a karate gi, and he got down. He came out from behind the booth. I mean, there's people waiting in line to meet him, and he took 10, 15 minutes to sit with this kid and have the kid show him the karate moves that he knew. and he's teaching me. He's moving his foot like, no, you want to keep it here, and like working with this kid on his karate moves and stuff. And I thought that was really cool. And I have to say, I gained a lot of respect for him in that sense. That every fan that went to him got genuine FaceTime with him. He didn't, you know what I mean? He didn't just blow people off, and that's awesome.
I think that was a great way to honor the memory of the late mean Gene Okerlund.
Right?
That was beautifully done. Actually, the reason I brought up this article and I wanted to throw it in here wasn't because I give even remotely a shit about Jason David Frank's wrestling debut. It was a throwback to an early episode that we did, where we were talking about that guy that had no legs that was doing the amateur wrestling in high school.
Yes.
And he had the advantage of being
He
legless.
had the absolute advantage.
Good for him. The one and only sport where you can say, oh, thank God I got no legs.
Yes.
Thank God I'm wrestling in the stubby division.
Yeah.
But I actually said I would love to see a legless wrestling association. Jason David Frank is now a member of the LWA. In fact, because of his appearance, the event drew the largest LWA crowd to date, which basically
Really?
means more than just the VFW members showed up that night.
Really?
And the crew.
And
So anyway, again, to Mean Gene.
to Mean Gene. To Mean Gene.
All right, let's get back to people that actually warrant our attention. Dave, we've had you on.
Mean Gene warranted it. I'm sorry.
I don't think if Mean Gene was here right now, he'd be like, "Fuck you guys. Why do I care?"
No,
about
he would
this?
be in
He'd
the
be in the
other
corner
room
with the
drinking
beer.
our beer. Yeah.
slurring like Dick Clark.
Just pouring it to the side of his mouth.
So I gotta ask now, Dave. You've been on. This is your third episode,
Yeah.
Yes.
and now that you're official, and you're gonna get a weird, goofy-looking cartoon face that is somehow more attractive than the actual thing.
Yeah.
I need to ask. I think it's only right that everybody at home gets to meet you. So I gotta ask.
Fair enough.
Why are you here?
I'm not sure.
Don't say the Ray wants to get you out of the house or anything like that.
No. To be honest, it started, I guess about a month or so ago. I was like, I was joking with you guys, like, yeah, all my friend moved to Texas.
All my friend. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But we
have just as many listeners.
let's all say hi to
moved to
Matt
Georgia.
then.
Well, we had two, and the other moved to Virginia.
That is
Yeah,
true. That's
Joey
a good
B.
point.
Yep.
Honestly, at first, I wanted to come just hang out and watch you guys do a show, see how you did it.
Yeah.
And Craig's like, yeah, come on over, it'd be great. Yeah, you can come hang
Yeah.
out. So I'm all gassed up. I'll go over, hang out at Mike's, watch these guys do a show. I show up, this empty chair with a microphone. Craig's like, sit. No, you're not going to watch. You're doing this. I'm
Yeah,
like,
like you can't sit here and just watch, right? You have to participate.
Do you know how many episodes Manny came down there? Oh, I'm not recording tonight, boys. Next thing you can't shut him the fuck up.
Yeah.
We're tagging his car with bumper stickers.
Yeah. Yeah, I did a thing. It was Christmas. It was before Christmas.
It was a Christmas miracle.
It was a Christmas miracle. It was a Christmas episode. I went outside and I put a bumper sticker on Manny's car. It was a magnetic one. I put it on his bumper. And what is it? Oh,
Honk if you love anal.
yeah, honk if you love anal. So I put it on his tailgate right above the latch. And I left it there. And so the next day, Brad calls me and says, "Hey, Manny, call you yet?" I'm like, "Nope." And that went on for
3.5, 4 weeks.
no 3.5, 4 months.
No, it was the Super Bowl.
No. Oh yes, it was the Super
It
Bowl.
was so he got basically through the end of December, the entire month of January, first week of February.
Yeah.
And then finally somebody goes up to Manny and he goes, "Hey man, I think you got tagged." Now the back of Manny's car, we never did paint this illustration last year.
Yeah.
The back of Manny's car reads like War and Peace. Like every bumper sticker that he's got is like a fucking little novella.
Yeah.
He thinks that people just sit in traffic and read his car.
you have to pull up into his truck bed to read it.
Yeah.
More or less. To be continued on the side panels. It was pretty ridiculous, but somebody finally caught out the one Craig strategically placed, like right in the middle of the novel.
Yep.
And it was really a brilliant prank, but Manny's kid he plays basketball.
Manny was parked at high schools,
Churches,
all this stuff with his kids for so long.
client meetings.
Client meeting. It was the client that called him out.
That was it.
It was a client that called him
a
out.
potential.
Yeah, a potential client.
We
yeah.
never did hear if he got the gig.
So the best was when Manny called me. He said, "Hey, did one of you guys put a bumper sticker on my car? A magnet on my car last night at the other night at the Super Bowl?" And I started laughing. I said, "Manny, I've been waiting for this phone call." Yes, it was me. No, it wasn't during the Super Bowl. He's like, "What do you mean?" I'm like, "Kid, I did that before Christmas." He was like, "What? Are you serious?" He's like, "Oh my God. I've been bringing my son to the high school basketball games. I've been parking in the school, talking to teachers, standing at the back of my truck."
And Craig had the quote of the year when we reflected on this with Manny, and Ron was there too. But everybody in the room, we were just like, everybody just thinks Manny's gross. And that kind of summed up the whole night. So I was trying to do math, and he just, "Fuck you, Brad. Fuck you, Brad. Fuck you, Brad." And then we couldn't shut him up. And that was the whole point we got on to Manny. Manny would come down with all intention of being
Just
a fly
sitting
on
there,
the wall.
not being on the show.
Yeah.
And it's just not going to fly. Even Kaylin came down, saved our asses one night by bringing a laptop. Kaylin was like, "No, I'm not going to do it." Next thing you know, she's mocking me for my childhood Christmas music habits.
Yes.
Which you will be privy to next Christmas. Until then, we're not. So anyway, what do you think you're bringing to this show?
Oh, jeez, I don't know. Attendance.
To attendance.
To our third, fourth, fifth, and ninth toast of the evening. Maybe the line of the night.
Oh man!
If you say good health, I will fucking hug you right now.
Slightly lower BMI.
And that's why you were here.
Oh my God, we should change the name of this show to Before Pictures.
Yeah. Oh man.
Three weight loss guys in a laser surgery clinic.
You have to think about where you place our pictures in the logo, because it's going to hang lower on one side if you get Mike and I together.
Yeah.
Put the four of us on the scales of justice.
Right. You got to balance it out.
Put you, Mike, and Manny on one side, and me and Craig on another page. And yeah, Craig, I'm putting myself in your weight class. Fuck off.
Yeah, needless to say, there are two other guys in this picture.
Yeah.
Just an arrow to be continued.
Yeah. Exactly.
Well, we're glad you're here, man. I mean, I know that you're probably not going to be able to be here every week.
I'll do my best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll do my best.
But
yep.
we get. I mean, you've got kids. You've got, things
It's
happen.
never stopped me.
No, I'm saying you got kids. You got everybody. I mean, things happen.
Yeah.
We get it. But here's to having you on, man. I'm psyched. I'm glad. I'm glad you're here.
I think we needed a shot of new blood.
Yeah.
And, I said earlier, I
was a
didn't
great
mean
addition.
to imply that the only reason we're happy you're here is flexibility.
No.
Because if there's a word that to describe you, the word isn't
No,
flexibility.
that's not it. No.
Exactly.
But no,
I haven't tied my own shoes in weeks. You're right.
No, we're looking forward to, I think of anybody at this table that deserves a night off from this show, it's Craig. Now, granted, he kind of is the key master.
Right.
But I think it'd be nice for all of us to have the ability to take a night off.
Yeah,
Maybe
if you got-
experiment with different dynamics and things.
Yeah.
People have heard you and me alone.
Yes.
They've heard you, me,
Yeah.
and my wife. They've heard you, me, and Mike. They've heard you, me, and Dave.
Yes.
We've never done a show without you involved.
No, I haven't missed an episode.
Neither have I.
No.
And I think maybe we'll have the flexibility to do that. The more comfortable we get in our own skin, this is going to be good. But Dave, welcome for real. This is exciting.
I'm excited. Yeah, never planned to do this. I should think
Yep.
partly why it's working out so far. But no,
Yeah,
it was fun.
It's gonna get better.
Yeah.
It's just gonna keep moving forward. I think it's gonna get better.
I mean, it's funny too because most of the time you go to Mike's house and you go down. I'm going to hang out with Mike's. You worry about signing up for a timeshare or something. Instead we signed you up over here, but anyway.
Yeah. But you know what? Let's get the show rolling.
Well, I'd say we're 40 minutes in. We probably should.
We
right?
probably should. Yeah.
I think
We haven't started yet.
Yeah.
That's what I signed up for.
Dave thinks we're done.
Yeah.
All right. So of all the headlines that happened this last couple of weeks, I think the one that we all agreed was most NTS, the one that was the
Yes.
most us and probably the most discussable, happened at a place that holds a spot in our hearts.
Yes.
GameStop.
GameStop.
But it involved a topic that I never thought I'd hear coming out of GameStop: gender appropriation.
Yes.
And I'm going to let Craig play a little bit of audio from this now, and I'm going to let you guys make a decision on. Actually, I want you to hear the audio.
Yeah.
Okay,
Exactly.
I'm riffing here. I want you to hear the audio. Then I encourage you to hit pause on this episode, open up a new browser window,
Watch the video.
and watch this video at least 11 times.
Yep. Exactly.
And try not to get angrier and angrier every time you watch it. At the same time, laughing a little bit more at the genetic misfire you're about to see. You ever wonder where all those extra chromosomes go when they're done with them? We found them all.
Yep.
And I believe it's wearing pigtails.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, let's play the video. Let's play the audio first.
We're not doing credit. You're gonna give me my fucking money back.
Excuse me, sir. There's a young man in here. You need to watch him out.
Excuse me, it's ma'am.
I'm sorry.
It is ma'am.
I can call the police if you'd like me to. You need to settle down.
You need to settle down and mind your business, okay?
Both of you guys?
Ma'am, once again, ma'am.
I said both of you.
No, you said sir. Once again, it's ma'am.
I actually said both of you guys. It was a general.
Right beforehand, you fucking said sir.
Sir? Okay.
Motherfucker, take it outside. If you want to call me sir again, I will show you a fucking sir.
I apologize.
Motherfucker.
I apologize now.
I need your corporate number because I'm going to call them and talk about how I was misgendered several times in this store.
I apologize for that.
I need your corporate number now.
I can get that for you if you like. That's not a problem.
Get it for me now.
I can do that. I'm going to ask you to calm down and stop cussing.
Give me your
Stop
corporate
hitting
number.
Destroying property.
Well, I'm going to ask you for the 5th time to stop calling me a man because quite clearly I am not.
And I apologize. I'm sorry for that, ma'am. I will get you that number. Is that okay?
Yes,
I'm
get it
just
for me
asking-
now.
I'm asking you to stop
Get it
cussing.
for me now. I'm not cussing. I'm not cussing.
Okay.
Get me the damn number now, please. Ooh!
Ma'am. Ma'am, I apologize.
Ooh!
I apologize, ma'am. I will get you that number right now.
No, you're just gonna keep bumping your gums. You're just gonna keep bumping your gums and disrespecting trans people in this store, which I plan on telling the entire LGBTQ community. You're going to lose money over this. Seriously, I have it.
Oh, good God.
Yeah. I mean, goddamn.
Okay, this might be the 129th time I've watched this video, and I'm just getting angry. And actually, you can tell I'm a parent, and Dave's probably with me on this. I'm angry for the mom who's like, sir,
well,
please calm down.
That was my biggest thing is when somebody's yelling like that for some, they're like, just give me the fucking number. You know, as much as you sitting there arguing with him, stop cursing, stop. Just give him the number. Just give it to him. Don't stop conversing with him so he's got nothing to yell at you about. Hand him the number. Here you go. Please leave. But at the same time, that guy's, I'm sorry,
Individual, man.
that individual is a douchebag
Yes.
because no matter what they are, the biggest thing.
Doesn't need one, though.
Not yet.
No, but the biggest thing, that guy is a douchebag. I keep saying that guy. I'm sorry. That person is a douchebag. Because you're yelling in a store that 90% of the clientele in that store are children.
Or parents.
Or parents.
that don't want to deal with that.
No, but what I'm saying, there's kids in there. Anytime I've ever been in one, there's a kid in there with a parent buying a game. There's kids in there. For you to be just screaming like a lunatic and swearing up a storm, in front of these kids. And creating a scene like that is frightening for a little kid.
Yes.
It's
traumatizing.
It's traumatizing. So, smarten up. And the whole thing was because they offered him a low amount for the game.
Yeah,
and
he had like a
didn't.
3-year-old video game which had a trade-in value of roughly $3.
Yes.
Which is actually a pretty good haul based on GameStop's current pricing.
Well, yeah.
I have 9 games sitting in the drawer right out in the other room, and
Yeah.
they're worth a combined 45 cents. It's amazing. I could probably melt the plastic and make more for these games.
But,
But part of the motivation was there were people there. This person was trying to make a scene to make a point, totally unrelated
I'm
to what was
so
going
glad
on.
you said
Yeah.
that. I am so glad you said that because I was going to bring this up. I didn't put it in the outline.
They were looking for a forum.
I think he, she, it, whatever.
See, it happens.
It happens.
It's-
Well,
yeah.
because you heard the video.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, the voice was unmistakably dude.
Yeah.
All right, and believe me, we're not gender insensitive
No,
here.
no.
Okay, but this guy wasn't even really trying.
No.
Like if he had just taken the top off a mop and slapped that on the top of his head and said, I'm a girl now,"
Yeah.
I like that's about as effective as the whole thing was. Now I appreciate you want to be called man. That's your right.
That's his. Yeah,
That's
exactly.
your right. I'm okay with that. You don't have the right to go be offensive and obscene in front of children.
No, exactly.
Right.
That was my point.
Right. And the kid working the counter was not trying to be rude or insensitive. This is a kid working, right?
Yeah.
And he
I
had a
worked at
computer.
CVS when I was a teenager. Like, I didn't know shit about life or people. at
Yeah,
that point.
you're
But he's
talking-
doing his best to diffuse the situation, and this grown person is causing a scene,
causing a
so they
scene.
can draw attention to themselves and make a point.
And over the fact that you don't appreciate the fact that they're only offering you such a little amount for that game. All right, they don't owe you anything. You brought that game in. This is what we'll give you for it.
Right?
It's what the
That's
computer
not what
dictates.
It's what the
Right.
Yeah,
I can do. I can't open the register for any more than
and
that.
not only that, we don't owe you. We don't have to buy your game. It's not. We don't have to do that. You came in. This is what we'll give you for it. If you don't like it, leave.
Move on.
Put it on Craigslist. Put it on eBay. See if you get more money.
Right.
Whatever. You know what? Put it on eBay for $3 and charge somebody $12.50 for shipping and handling. You're all set.
Win-win.
Yeah, win-win. But they don't owe you. So for you to argue the price of the return value, you bought that game when it was brand new. For you to argue the price of what it costs to bring it back, yes, don't get me wrong, it sucks. But that's how GameStop makes their money. They don't make their money selling you video games. Nobody makes money selling video games.
They're about to go out of business anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
Right.
But I think that the concept here was that this person was looking for an in
Yes.
to create possibly a viral video. Now, nobody identified who was filming it.
Right.
Was this
No.
person related to the child? Or was this a well-planted friend of said individual
Yes.
that decided, you know what, we're going to create a cause around this, and this person just didn't handle it right? But there was one line in there that, in my opinion, blew up the whole thing. And that was, "Step outside and I'll show you a sir."
Yes.
Now, you all heard the audio. We don't need to recap it. Basically, this poor guy who's 19 and probably has the equivalent IQ.
Yeah.
All right, is now sitting there, and because he hears a voice that's a little deeper than mine, is actually calling this person sir.
And we've done it 5 times already.
That's right.
I've done it.
And this is a non-pressure situation where
Yes.
we don't have a
And we
6'4",
don't-
5
yes.
o'clock shadowed transgendered woman.
in your face yelling at you.
I would love to see her in the WNBA. She'd be just dunking over everybody.
Just just fighting in the women's UCF, wailing on fucking chicks.
Did you say UCF?
UFC.
3 letters.
I
3 syllables.
It's 3 letters.
I've never heard anyone speak dyslexically before. That's amazing.
Sings the Jackson 5 A C B. 1 3 2.
Crazy to home and watch Law and Order SUV.
If you
It's all about a
asked me-
police car.
If you said, I would have said that 10 times. 10 times in a row, I would have said SUV. I guarantee it.
But he's not like a fucking tornado reporter.
But
It's
you
a
know what's
category
funny
1.
is
Just five blows
I had
through.
written down, and I said, when we wrote this down, I said I have a question because when I was when I was looking at the outline, and things were happening, I was actually at the vet with my dog, and I'm sitting in the waiting room, and this person sits on the side of me, and it immediately got me thinking, because it was a penisless person, I would say. They didn't have a penis.
As the French would say, sans penis.
But yeah, but so how do I approach that situation? Now, if I don't know who they are, how they identify themselves, or what they, so if I'm trying to get their attention, and I say, excuse me, like say the woman behind the counter, say, excuse me, trying to get their attention. That's what I'm getting. Like, if I'm trying to get their attention, do I just say, excuse me, hey, you? Or what do I say? And I'm not trying to be a jerk about this. I really want to know because I don't want to offend anybody.
You've already dealt with this in one of your clients.
In one of my clients' house, yes. But, I mean, how do I actually address that to be fair to people? Because I'm not an asshole. And if you want me to call you he, she, or whatever, I will. Because it doesn't matter to me.
Right.
It doesn't affect me in any way. And I'm polite. So I'll refer to you that way.
I mean, I'm really fucking glad I didn't go to college now, because now there's a whole pronoun insensitivity thing that you have to go through before any campus. It's not even just the highly liberal ones. Any campus in America, it's pronoun training.
My mother has a list. My mother works at a college.
Right.
And she has a gigantic list of words that can and cannot be used in certain areas, and they have to follow this. Mm-hmm. And she is constantly getting emails right down the president of the college sent my mother an email saying, hey, I want to send this email out to the college. Can you go over this and tell me, is there anything in here that's inappropriate?
Wow.
And my mother's like, no, you have to change this to they and this,
right?
That seems to be the common thinking. Generalize it, group pronouns.
Yes.
They, we,
right?
Things
but
like
how
that.
do I just scream, hey, person?
But you're gonna get 53 people turn
person
around
with
look
the
at you.
short hair and the flannel shirt and work boots. Is
Hey,
that
you without the penis.
Yeah,
right? That's what,
yeah.
I
How
think.
many of you pee sitting down?
Yes.
By nature.
Yeah. And don't get. I wasn't being insensitive by saying the penisless person, but it was clearly to me when she walked in, it was clearly a female, that was part of the community, and I don't care. She sat down next to me, but I started thinking, if I needed to address her, how do I do it comfortably without offending her and making me look like an asshole?
I think you answered your own question right from the start. Excuse me.
You maybe just leave it there.
And just leave it there.
No, well, that's how I would address anybody anyway.
Right.
But I'm saying, like, say she's walking out of the building or they're walking out of the building and they drop their wallet. And I'm like, hey.
You open the wallet, check the ID, and call them by name.
Oh, there you go. Well, you fucking detective prick.
It's like, hey, Pat, you dropped this empty wallet.
Like, open it up as Pat, like, God damn it.
You just start calling out, like, neutral names. Jamie!
Yeah.
Well, you go off of physical cues. That's all you have to go off when you
But you're not allowed to do that anymore.
That's what we're all.
I had an audible clue a few weeks ago when I moved. Craig and I were in the middle of a U-Haul van driving to this beautiful studio you're sitting in right now.
Yeah.
Studio B.
And I was calling a junk removal service.
This is the best.
The person picking up the phone, it was a borderline call. and I went the wrong direction.
He did.
It had already been a long morning. To be fair, we had already loaded basically my entire first floor. I said, well, let me get this person. Now, and also to be fair, this turned out to be a woman. And the mother of the owner of the company.
Yes.
Oh, straight to.
Sounds like she literally snapped her merits in half and just mainlined them.
She's got a very gravelly, low voice.
Yeah.
She gargled like Windex. That was it.
Yeah. And Brad ended the call with, "Thank you, sir."
No, I started the call with thank you, sir, and then had to endure Craig looking over at me going, "That's his mother."
Because I knew.
You just let it happen.
Oh, yeah. And I was just like, I'm letting him. I mean, literally, like, tears in my eyes. I'm like, "You called her, sir."
You're not getting anything picked up in this house.
You know how I'm going to die, right?
$1,000.
We're going to be at the Grand Canyon, and then you're just going to see one less person, and Craig going, "Oh, no, gravity."
Yeah.
No fence. That's going to be it. And that's how I'm going to go down. And again, my best friend. All right, so
I love
back
that
to
guy.
GameStop.
Person.
Yes.
Sorry.
No, but that's what I said. Like, I'm not trying to be insensitive to people.
I think we've established that now. We got to address new listeners, but we also have to address the people that have been with us all along. I think everybody knows we're not insensitive. We're making jokes and all that.
Yeah.
But sometimes, like a scenario like this, when a person is calling so much attention to themselves, Dave made the best point of the night. Maybe this person wanted this
is a
attention.
setup.
This was a setup.
Or there's at least underlying motivation.
But it blew up in that person's face.
Right.
Because that person did not come out of this situation looking good.
Yeah.
And-
Exactly.
and
I mean, the little Debbie haircut didn't help, but
it looked like the Dutch
it was
boy
so.
on the can of
it was
paint.
such a they struggled like they were in both of their wardrobes in the morning.
I think
Like,
that
oh,
person.
shit.
Yeah, I think that person was just pissed because their robbery at Nakatomi Tower got foiled earlier today.
Could you imagine that? A perfectly gender neutral shirt. They put him on the elevator. Now I have a machine gun. Or do I?
Oh my god. Yeah. Holy shit. That's fantastic. See, now everybody, you have to watch the video. We're going to put a link in the. We'll put a link under the episode for the video as well.
Shoot the glass.
Yeah. Oh man.
Still a Christmas movie.
Let's go on to the second topic.
Oh, yeah, this is a real
Well,
stretch.
2.5 topic. We'll call that.
This is barely a sidestep. This is barely a little bob haircut away.
No, yeah, exactly.
Seriously, if that person had just come up and go, "God bless us all, everyone,"
Yeah,
I would not have. Although it would have been more like, "God bless us all."
yeah, exactly.
Just skipped away with a picnic basket. Goodbye.
Yep.
It would have actually sounded like Scrooge at 45 RPM
Yeah.
in the morning after. But anyway, enough Christmas jokes. The next headline is a good one, and it's about a town that I hold near and dear. New York City's law allowing gender-neutral birth certificates begins January 1st, which is a mere 3 days ago.
Yes.
So this just happened. So obviously we wrote this episode with a bit of a theme.
Yep.
And if
Well,
you
to this point.
it's not the only thing we're talking about. But New York City residents who don't identify as male or female are now allowed to change their birth certificates to X beginning January 1st.
Yep.
This begged a question for me before we even get into the article. Why do we only have a birth certificate and a death certificate? Why is all the paperwork on our life only defined by basically when we started, when we ended, and how much we owed along the way?
Yeah, because it's all tax forms in the
That's
middle.
it. That's it. I need a social number and a
Yep.
tax ID from that point on. Why not have a life certificate? Maybe I was identified as a male for the first 15 years of my life, and then I decided I didn't want to do. And this is obviously a hypothetical. Don't start with the fucking jokes, everybody.
It's basically a scroll. It would have to be a scroll.
Brad's choice to change at age 15 is his business. You leave him alone.
Yeah.
I wanted more than $3 for that.
What do you mean $3? I'm a ma'am.
That was an original Donkey Kong. But I'm curious, is why do we need to put it on our birth certificate? Maybe I was born a certain way and don't want that. Maybe if all your documentation is basically the only physical thing left of you at the end of your life, the only records of your life, why would I alter how I started? I chose to live this way at some point when I made a decision about my identity. And again, I'm really talking hypothetically here. Right. But I think it's kind of silly that they're changing birth certificates. Why? And New York should be better than this.
My whole issue is not people choosing this, but this records sex, which is a physical characteristic.
A physical characteristic.
Gender is more of personality trait, right?
Yeah. All right.
I mean, that's when I went through psychology classes in college and all. Like, sex is a physical characteristic.
Is a physical.
You're born with certain physical characteristics.
Yeah.
That's what this records.
Yes.
But I think to Brad's point, as you progress through life, you're going to change and grow and develop. Like, I'm different now than I was when I was 15.
Yeah.
Right? So that you make changes, and if you want to make it official, good for you.
Yep.
Right? But this is how you were born, and it's a record of physical characteristics.
Yeah.
I think, you know.
No, I
probably
agree
a better
with you.
way to put it.
No, that is the best way to put it, because I always say it doesn't matter to me. It doesn't matter to me what you put on your birth. I don't give a shit if you put fucking purple koala on it.
But it's strictly for identification purposes.
No,
right.
That's all this is.
Right.
It's all it is. Because what do you say? You know, someone broke into a house and you're like, officer walks up to you and says, "Can you describe the suspect?" No, I can't.
It was a person.
It was a person. They
Right.
They broke into the house.
They had skin and teeth.
You know, because I mean, still, that's a lame thing, because you can't describe somebody anyway that way. You know, could be male, female. You don't know.
6'4" blonde.
GameStop just proved that.
Yeah.
Right. You know?
You imagine that 6'4" blonde stole my Halo 3.
Yeah. But to me, it doesn't matter if you went back and you want to change it. Go ahead. Doesn't matter if you went and transitioned.
I disagree. I think it's altering the records that were recorded. I'm not allowed to go back and amend too many tax forms. I can amend my returns. I can amend all that, but I can't change the information that I supplied.
Yeah.
And I feel like a birth certificate is a statement of fact that happened that day.
Yep.
I think there needs to be a progression of life certificate and then a death certificate.
Oh, there you go. It's an addition to your birth certificate.
An amendment, if you will.
An amendment to your birth certificate. There you go. An
that
amendment
makes
to
sense.
it.
What's a birth certificate used for, though?
Proof that it's you.
That it's you.
It's
And
pure
yeah.
identification. That's all this
And
world
that's all
is.
it is, right? So it's
Has your little tiny footprint on the corner.
Right, go back to what you were saying. Like, it has no
gender-neutral
impact on my life, good, bad, or indifferent.
The next one's got like little balls and a little dog print on it, or just one that looks like a clam. Just like it's not doing that.
It's like the plan from Little Shop of Horrors.
There's your proof right there.
With really
Feed me.
big leaves.
It's like 3 dots on just 2 long fucking cog looking things. You a ... or a dash ?
I have so many jokes I'm not going to make it. I've already offended probably a good chunk of the transgender community, so I'm not going to make these jokes.
And I'm not trying, because my thing is, I like the fact that you said that, a progression of life certificate, because, like you said, like Dave made a great point. Or was it you? I'm sorry, I'm getting confused. That it's
Too many of us in here. Someone's going to leave, so Craig can keep
it's
up.
a record of that moment, of that time.
Right.
Right? So if you were born a male, that's it. But as you progressed and went through life and changed and whatever, and you want to identify as something else, that's fine. But it is a record of who you are, and there's reasons for it, medically, physically,
Yeah,
but the other thing is, when you hit a certain age, any age, and you decide you want to be, you don't need my permission or my acknowledgement, or my agreement of it or anything.
Right.
Who am I to dictate what you want to be or do?
Right,
So
but I think...
go ahead.
I
It
think
doesn't
it's just
fucking
a
affect me.
matter of
Right.
record keeping. That's all this
Yeah.
is. Nothing on your birth certificate, it really affects what you do in your life anyway.
Right.
Yeah.
So why does it matter? Why do you need to change it? Now, I will say this. For people that this is important to, now you have the option. And good for New York City for getting out of their own way and actually letting people who don't identify as male or female and claim maybe that since birth they've known it.
Yeah.
Maybe that's part of it. And they can change their birth certificates to X without requiring any affidavits or anything like that from a doctor, mental health professional, anything like that. So I think that's cool because you shouldn't have to go through all those hurdles to do that.
No, you shouldn't. And but there also are physical. There are people that are born with both. So I mean, there you go.
Well, this actually
whether-
allows parents to choose an
to
X
choo-
designation for their kids.
Yeah.
And if that is the physical situation that's going on there, that's
There you
their
go.
right
That's
to do.
fine.
Yeah.
But then you get into you having parents now make this decision. So they're deciding something for this child. They're against, they're not going to identify male or female, so your parents are deciding they're not going to identify with anything.
I don't think that's what they're saying. I think
I'm
they're-
just saying, there's still, there's people that are, I don't know, it gives them the
No, I
opportunity to
know
make
what
a
you're saying.
choice for this child that they're not going to have.
Well, so is choosing male.
I agree.
Yeah.
But my point was, male and female are physical characteristics. That's where I was going with my point,
And
right?
I'm with
So
you. But we have a talk show, so I figured we'd talk about it.
I don't want to talk about it. I want to make a point and move on.
I want to make a point and move on. He said,
No, I will
To
agree
me, that's
that...
no different than giving someone a name,
Right.
right? Maybe
Yeah.
you don't want to be called Brad. Maybe I don't want to be Dave.
And truth be told, it takes a lot of hassle to change your name legally, too.
Agree.
yeah,
I get
exactly,
it.
which is ridiculous.
I'm not opposed.
I
I'm
want
just
it to
saying,
be Ace.
Yeah.
As a kid, or Chuck. There's my two options.
Ace
Well, I like my Uncle Chuck was cool. You know what I mean? And I was like, I liked that, like Chuck. And then, but Ace was my number one pick.
See, I always base what name I want on that, like that old kids rhyme, like A space, bo base, banana. It's like if you were Chuck, you were screwed.
Yeah, fuck.
Right, that's all you hear on the school bus. Chuck, buck, for minute, for fuck. Yeah. It's at 20 minutes on the way to school. Fuck. That's all you get.
Hey, and at the end, they're just like, cock.
Even
My
then,
name
the kids
always
do you
worked well with that song. My name had like a cool bounce. It was like brad, bo, bad, banana, fana. It worked out really, really well. Thank God they didn't circle the wrong thing. All right. All right, let's move on. All right. As I was saying, we are back. And I know you didn't know we were gone, but we just spent the last 25 minutes trying to figure out how to transition from the last topic to the next one. And I realized the best answer, we're just going to get our birth certificates and put a big X on them. No, in reality, like we talk a lot on this show about hashtags and movements and all that stuff. And I think one of the things that we need to address is this really the end of days? And not like physically, like the world isn't ending.
No, you have people say it all the time, like, it's gotten out of hand, it's like Sodom and Gomorrah.
Yeah,
I'm glad you got that right.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah. Sodom and Gamera from Godzilla.
Sodom, Gamera, and Louisiana.
Yeah.
I'd go see that show in a heartbeat.
Saddam and Gamera. Saddam and Gamera. Big mustache guy fighting a fucking 300.
Just imagine like a counselor in Craig's world. Show me on the doll where he Saddamized you. Oh. Way to jump right into a salient point, guys. Really fucking nailed this. But I mean, when you can't go to GameStop now without wondering whether or not a 6'4" transgendered person is going to be obscene
Scream in
and
your
potentially and threaten to attack a GameStop. I don't think we spent enough time on that point, but whatever. The fact that he's like, I'll go outside and show you a sir.
Yeah.
Well, you can't have it both ways. Is this the end of things? And one of the next headlines really appealed to me because there's a bank, and let's open up the article so I don't get any of the facts wrong. But there's a bank in Denmark that apparently every year just releases a list of predictions.
Predictions, yeah.
Things that can completely change the world as we know it. And I don't know why a bank feels the need to do this.
But they've been doing it for years.
Yeah, this is like a thing. Like they handle your money and also your future.
Make predictions, yeah.
Free palm readings with a checking account of more than $500. And we know banks are never wrong. If the last 15 years have told us anything,
you get a deck of tarot cards.
Right? Oh, that's a money market account. Your spirit animal is a...
Who's your mortgage broker? Zoltar.
Yeah. And do I qualify? Well, were you born in the cancer house?
Was Mercury in retrograde?
Yeah.
Because the rates are phenomenal. Well, it gets even better when we name the bank. Expert analysts at Saxo Bank compiled their annual outrageous predictions list detailing how a series of highly unlikely events could affect global finances. I guess that's the hook.
Yeah,
They're talking about global finances, but they go so far out of the way. The reason that they're really getting known for it this year is because last year, you know, like you give enough monkeys a typewriter, they'll eventually write War and Peace.
Right, yeah.
In 2017, the bank's analysts said that Bitcoin would surge to $60,000 a coin, and then plunge to $1,000 per coin. And what happened in reality in 2017, it went from $20,000 to $4,000. And now I think if they had actually stretched it, I think it's worth like -0 now.
Yeah.
And by the way, tell your partner.
Yeah.
So they made their list of predictions, and it wouldn't be needless to say if we didn't get into it a little bit.
Yes.
So I think the first one really, it's just kind of an all-encompassing umbrella one. Like the rest of the headlines don't matter if this one comes true.
Yes.
Because solar flare creates chaos and inflicts $2 trillion in damage.
I feel like you have to hold your pinky to your mouth when you say that.
$2 trillion.
Tim Robbins laughing at you.
Yeah. And as somebody who's done this on this show, I appreciate that Dave did the pinky.
Yeah. Yeah, he actually
There's no video. I did it.
Physically did it.
Because I actually was guilty of when we did our recap episode and I was fake calling Charlie. I actually physically used my hand to make the call. And then at one point, I got annoyed with the phone and threw it.
You threw a fake phone.
The funny thing, well, he got annoyed because he kept hanging it up. And we're like, what? You're hanging it up and then answering it like it's a real phone. And he got mad and threw it.
Yeah.
I said, he got mad. Like it was like Mario from fucking Donkey Kong for a second there.
It's a me, a fucking idiot.
It's a me, John Leguizamo.
Kind of does sound like a guinea name, doesn't it?
It does.
When you do it. But anyway, the analyst at Saxo Bank.
Saxo. Mike runs it. Swollen Saxo.
How did your tongue not trip when you said Mike runs?
They've only got 3 stones in their vault.
93 sausages. So anyway, these experts, y'all gonna let you guys laugh this one out.
Yeah,
all right. We gotta get through this. Analysts say that the natural disaster will cause financial damage of at least $2 trillion. You know, roughly 1.6 trillion euro for those keeping count at home. The solar storm were basically going to wipe out satellites across the Western Hemisphere.
Yep.
And basically, when all the GPSs go out, it's going to create chaos. And then all the bank accounts that are connected to these satellites are also going to get wiped out.
Shut down.
So we're looking at basically total global collapse.
Well, you're talking about the funny thing is you see, this is a big thing, and I've looked a lot into this. You're talking about power outage completely too, as well. Not just the
grid.
One strong enough to just destroy satellites and burn out satellites would cause complete chaos. But a little bit stronger, and you're talking about it knocking out power and burning out transformers. There's not enough transformers in America, and I'm not talking about Bumblebee and Optimus Prime. Electrical transformers in the United States to replace them all at once.
there's not enough backup transformers. The power could be out for a year and a half to 2 years in certain areas. That is apocalypse type shit.
Well, I mean, when the
we're
Wi-Fi goes out, it's apocalypse these days.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So could you imagine zero power?
Let's go back to nudie magazines.
Right? That's the worst. But people can't take care of themselves. People can't take care of themselves as it is. Can you imagine not having refrigeration, not having the water pumping into your home?
Well, it's kind of funny they bring that up because the last known powerful solar flare of this strength, and I looked it up.
The
I don't just
Carrington event.
Yes, and it was 1859?
1859.
And it knocked out like all of the world's cotton gins.
Yeah, yeah. No, it took out all of the telegraph wires, burned out. But even that's an insulated telegraph wire, and it fried them right out. So that was powerful enough. That if that hit at this point, it would blow all transformers and all that stuff.
Amazing.
You know, and that's
what do
why
it do to people? What do these solar flares do to people?
It's really not effective. It doesn't affect people. It's an electromagnetic pulse. You don't even know it happened.
What about pacemakers?
But that's a different story. Those people just drop.
Not before they get this like jolt though. They're like, wee! Oh.
You know, it's. I mean, it's an insane thing. But it's happened before, and it's happened 1,000 times before that, even more powerful than the Carrington event. Carrington event, if it happened right now, would set us back quite a bit.
So
and
you're
it would
saying
be a long time.
It would blow out power for potentially years.
For potentially years.
That's
yes.
almost as tragic as their next prediction. Netflix will collapse.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Go back to mailing you DVDs.
Yep.
That you have to spin manually.
Right.
Because your DVD player doesn't work because of the solar flare.
Mail you a bunch of flip books.
Netflix is one of those fucking things that you find as when you were a kid.
It's Netflips after
Netflips.
that. They just send you the corner of a notebook. And it's always a guy on a skateboard launching off a ramp.
Oh my god.
Well, Saxo Bank says that Netflix might not even happen because we won't have the printing ability to make the marble notebooks.
Yep.
But they say in 2019, believe it or not, Netflix, and I didn't know this, and I'm not going to say apparently again, but it seems like that it's the most debt-laden corporation in America, and I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I don't know if they invested too much in physical DVDs and they're not getting their money back on it.
No, they started investing way too much in original content.
Well, they're still doing it.
No, and they're still doing it because they're going to pull something out. I mean, they've pulled. I mean, I think Bird Box was huge for them right now. That was a big. That movie Bird Box. Have you watched it?
I have not. That was Sunday night on the docket.
Yep.
We're going to get to it, provided the Carrington effect doesn't happen before that.
Exactly. No, me and my wife watched it. It was good. I enjoyed it. It was Quiet Space or Quiet Place in reverse. You know.
All right.
But I mean, it was good, and I enjoyed it. And they're doing all this stuff. They've got great series, but if you go onto Netflix originals, granted, some of them are shows that they've picked up from other networks that got canceled, but they're producing a lot of stuff.
They still need to produce it. They still have to invest in these shows to keep it going.
They're producing a lot of stuff, and they're producing a lot of stuff that's not that good.
All right, but what's the return? What's their motivation? There's no advertising on that network. If you have a streaming account, there's no advert. It's not like Hulu.
No,
there are no ads to be found on there. So why am I going to continue to pay Ashton Kutcher to play a fucking redneck on the ranch on a terrible fucking show, I might add?
Yeah.
That I still watch religiously because now I'm invested.
Yeah. But is there market? There is marketing in it because he always goes to the bar and he orders a Budweiser.
All right, but nobody's paying that much for product placement.
No, they're not. But his product. There's a lot of product placement in the.
It's not going to fund a network.
That's different than outright advertising.
Yeah, no, exactly. Yeah. But I'm saying they do have product placement, but they're relying way too much on memberships. And there was a funny thing is I I saw a meme that said Netflix is concerned 42 million people watched Bird Box this week, and Netflix is trying to figure out why it was only on 4 accounts.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Well, that's the thing, right?
Yeah.
It's so easy to share accounts and logins and passwords.
And I did it. I've shared an account. My buddy is having hard times. I was like, here's my password.
I maintain 2 residences, one here at the new house and one in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
And that's just how it is.
Yeah.
And if they have a question about that, well, fuck you, Solar Fund.
Yeah. And $8 a month is tight. That's why I think Fire TV, Amazon Prime, is going to start to pull ahead, because that's what they do. And what's going to happen is Amazon is going to buy Netflix.
It's a possibility.
They have other sources of revenue besides just
that's
the
what I
TV
mean.
shows they're
Are you
producing.
kidding
Yeah,
me?
right.
Fucking Q-tips alone could fund their network.
Yeah.
The amount of money they make on household
and
items.
they've just dumped billions into just two series.
Was that 2?
Want. 2 series.
You noticed
2?
that too?
Yes.
Held up
What?
one finger on each hand and said 2.
Yeah, it was like one for each
this
of us.
finger
Right, I
hurt.
wasn't
And then
sure.
We had to collaborate to do the math.
That was-
we did it.
that was new
we pulled
math,
it up.
right?
This finger hurt.
Thanks, George
I couldn't
W.
put it up. I didn't want you to think I was showing you the Hawaiian "I love you" sign.
That's racist. We're not editing that.
Do you know what? None of them are going to succeed until they do what Hulu
But
does.
they literally put it like $1 billion and something into just 2 series that they want to put out.
I get it, and I think that's fine. And when you got the means and the ways to
Yeah.
do it, have at it. If they buy Netflix and they inherit that library and all their production, then the game over. But I still don't think it's going to win. I actually just signed up for Hulu with live TV, and my wife and I are scrolling channels just like we did on the dish, and it's great. And it's saving me $89 a month.
Yeah,
It's not even
I'm on
close.
that. All I'm waiting for is the final season of Game of Thrones, and that's where I'm heading. As soon as the final season of Game of Thrones is over, I mean, I could do it still on Hulu.
I am going to predict you will get to see it before the flare, and then you're going to be ragingly disappointed going into the apocalypse. Based on the amount of people that are speculating on that show and so many other shows that are coming to an end, you're going to be ragingly disappointed.
See, I don't do that. I don't hype myself up, and I don't speculate, and that's why I get mad at people like the Star Wars movies. I don't walk into the Star Wars going, "This is going to be fucking epic. It's going to be the best ever."
No, we only did 4 episodes on it.
Yeah, no, but I'm saying when I walk into it, I'm not expecting it to blow my fucking. I want it to blow my socks off, but I'm not speculating what they're going to do. Everybody that's mad about The Last Jedi and that stuff are people that were like, "Hey, they didn't play the story out the way I thought of it in my head."
Right.
That's all it is. Ryan Johnson didn't do what I was thinking of. He went outside of the box of my own head, and now I'm pissed. And it ruined it. That's why. And I don't do that with shows.
I think Game of Thrones is going to be really great for me because I've been disappointed with the show since the first episode.
I don't get it.
I think it's one of the worst things I've ever had to witness. I've tried watching season 1 3 times. I can't keep my eyes open.
It's such. I just watched.
And there's so much fucking.
I just watched.
And that usually, that's
that was
enough
only
to
in
keep me intrigued.
That was in the first
couple
couple of seasons,
yeah.
and then it stops.
When was the midget cock?
Midget cock that was the best. Take him to the cock merchant. Best line in any series ever.
One of my favorite episodes we've ever done was about. This is turning into like a flashback. We were reflecting a lot tonight for Dave, but I think take him to the cock merchant. He's got a midget cock. That's worth something.
They're magical.
If you're if you're just a short guy with like no girth, no luck. You're not a magical.
Right.
Yeah, you got one of those dwarf nubby cocks. Take him to the cock merchant. But no, I mean, I don't know. I just watched on Sunday. I mean, not Sunday. On New Year's Day, I realized there's a marathon on at like noon. I turned it on. I watched it till midnight.
It's easy.
No.
Yeah, you have. I think you have to give yourself a season to get into the characters.
Yeah.
The characters are what keep you in it.
Well, they seem to be getting into each other, and that's what the only thing that intrigued me.
It's such a great show. But anyway.
Isn't Aquaman in there?
Yes,
Yeah.
he was for second season.
He was one of those savages, those
The
unbathed
first-
savages.
Oh, was it the first season?
First season.
Yeah.
He fucks the blonde, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does.
Oh, yeah, hard.
Yeah.
Then
More than
pours
once.
More than once. And then he pours a pot of melted gold over that dude's head.
Yeah.
That was
Good
great.
stuff.
How did I miss that? Oh, yeah, I was sleeping. Anyway. All right, so that's about that. So we're going to be waiting with bated breath to find out if Denmark's world-renowned Saxo Bank gets it right this
Let's
year.
see if they get it right.
Saxo Bank.
Saxo.
All right, moving along. Craig, take us to the next. Oh, yeah, this is right up Craig's alley. You have to read this one. Well, the theme is now end of the world. It's
Yes.
the world ending. And in Craig's eyes, this would be the end of the
This
world.
would
For Craig,
be
this would be
the
the seventh
apocalypse.
sign of the apocalypse.
Yes,
This
this
it.
is the seal has been broken.
That's it.
the
And the
final
Lamb
seal.
opened the seventh seal, and silence covered the sky.
The fourth horseman just crawled into his house.
Yeah, exactly. The final seal has been broken. Why don't you die?
That was a sentence we've said so many times to
Right.
various members of the show that aren't on tonight. And
Australian spider sparks police call. A man was trying to kill a spider in his house and screaming, "Why won't you die?" while the rest of the family was yelling because it was a gigantic. It's Australia. Spiders are fucking like catches mitts. You know what I mean?
spiders there, like they're fitted for saddles.
Yeah, exactly.
I just met Brad's 5-year-old son. About the same size as this spider.
Yeah, exactly.
And not just his head, like the whole body.
Yeah. And people, so the family's screaming and he's yelling and banging on the floor and said, "Why won't you die?" So the neighbors call the cops. They thought he was
I might
murdering
do
his
that.
family. Yes.
Good on the neighbors.
Yes.
Good on the neighbors.
Yes.
Yeah. But then the cops come, lights and sirens, guns drawn, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
But
No.
like, can we all admit, though, that the Australian accent is just so fucking adorable that screaming, "Why don't you die?" You're just thinking shrimp on the Barbie.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
That's not a knife. Why won't you die?
Yeah, why won't you die? What's going on over there?
Crikey.
Crikey, he's a grumpy one.
Dude, there's nothing better than a New York Italian doing an Australian accent.
It's up there. It's up there.
But I
Get
have
me
to
a
say-
Foster's. Motherfucker.
I have to say, I've been involved in a situation like this.
No, you have not.
I have.
Okay, prove me wrong.
I was at a friend's house, well, a friend of my father's house, watching a football game. And everybody's drinking and having a good time. And he is one of those crazy, obsessive people that watches sports, like insanely, and yells at the TV and does. So we ordered a pizza. And apparently the pizza delivery guy was approaching the door. And he was yelling at the TV. He was yelling at the Patriots. "You fucking bitch. You fucking suck. I hope you fucking die. I want to kill you. You fucking cunt. You whore." He's right. And the pizza guy
It was Giselle.
the pizza guy turned around and got in his car and called the police. Because he thought that he approached a domestic assault, like,
Right.
you know, like someone's, and so everybody's just sitting there. And then the cops show up, and everybody's sitting there watching a football game, but he's still yelling. And the guy's wife goes to the door, like, yeah, like, hello, and it's the cops, and they realized what was going on. It was kind of funny. And he was just like, yeah. And when the cops asked him, he's like, yeah, these fucking losers. He didn't skip a fucking beat. He didn't give a shit that they were there. He was so fucking mad. Yeah. Oh, it was fucking hilarious. But yeah, and then he got pissed and because the pizza wasn't there.
Right.
You know, he was actually like, "What the fuck, my pizza?" But it was kind of good on the part that the pizza guy did that.
Agreed.
And, you know, at
Right.
the same time, like I said, he walked to the house. Nobody else was yelling because he's just screaming. So he had nothing else except somebody screaming like they were yelling at a woman. You know,
A person.
yes.
Thank you,
yes,
Dave.
yes.
Thank you, Dave.
But
Trying to be more sensitive in the
I
new
was
year.
saying bitch cunt.
Oh, no.
Those are the words he was yelling.
Cunt is not gender specific.
No, it's not.
Despite what
No.
the anatomical...
Bitch, X.
Yeah.
You stupid X. I don't know, man. I think Australia gets a bad rap. It's crazy because when we were kids, Australia was like utopia.
Yeah.
It was like surfing and all like food and friendly people.
And getting stabbed in the heart with stingray things. Yeah.
Well, that came later.
That was later.
That came after the magic.
yes.
Now you see it, and all you can see about Australia is there are animals like bats with 5-foot wingspans that just hang around your house, and fucking scorpions that you don't see, but
like
will
a
crawl
god-
up your toilet and bite your rectum.
Yeah, it's like a goddamn time machine to the Jurassic period. it's what it is.
Right. Snake kills spider eating a bull shark on the beach.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
It is Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
It's also Photoshop, most of it,
Yeah.
but that's besides the point.
The Wild West for Nat Geo.
Yeah.
There are enough snakes in toilets that makes me not want to ever go there.
One snake in a toilet.
Yeah.
Done. Good.
That's it.
Yep.
That's it. There's very
Google
few-
images. I'll look at Australia.
Yep.
Happy.
I'm not afraid of many things. There's a few things I don't like. I don't like mice, and I know that sounds really lame, but I don't like anything smaller than me that can move faster than me.
They're fast.
Which is why I hang out with Craig and Mike. And now Dave.
That's why I'm here.
Yeah.
But I think Australia is kind of getting a bad rap from the internet right now.
Yeah.
And maybe this isn't going to help. You know,
No.
people calling in domestics because of a fucking spider.
Because, well, I mean, seriously, though, you've seen the spider. It's not...
Yeah.
I mean, they have normal-sized spiders like we have, and those are food for the gigantic spiders that are just crawling around.
Spiders will catch small snakes and
they're
rodents.
like freaking snow crabs.
Deadliest catch Australia.
Yeah, like deadliest catch. Fucking gigantic.
What's scarier than a giant spider? A giant spider that can breathe underwater.
Yeah. Right, yeah,
Can we
exactly.
be real about that? When those things decide they want to come to the surface, we're fogged.
Yeah, I think, they breathe on water and land.
Right.
Yeah.
It ain't the waves taking down them ships.
Yeah.
Enough with that and Captain Sig Hansen and all those fucking guys. Fucking Chester the Molester up there with that fucking 80s mullet.
Yeah.
This was not a rant I expected to go on. But by the way, change your fucking name. It's Sig.
Yeah.
The name shouldn't be a fucking sound effect. But anyway.
It should be a fucking sound effect. God, this Sig, man, he's cool. He's got blonde hair and shit.
Yeah, flowing blonde hair. He's nice
from Norway.
Viking stock.
Yeah.
You should go back and work at that bank.
Yeah.
Make some predictions about the future of crab fishing in fucking Alaska.
Well, maybe that's why he was at GameStop trying to sell a game back.
That's it. And for anybody who's watched the video, you know why that's fucking funny. Oh my god, it was Sig Hansen the whole time. I bought Deadliest Catch the game.
It was Sagina Hansen.
My name is Sagina X Hansen.
It was him.
I'd love to see like a Discovery Channel reality show like crossover.
That's what he does in the off season.
I'd like to see Sig Hansen on like Ghost Hunters.
Yeah, right.
Or what's the other one where they yell at the ghosts and taunt them?
Oh, that
Is that
new
Ghost
one.
Adventures?
It's-
Maybe?
yeah.
It's like
It's
that
so
guy
ridiculous.
just sticks his head in the doorways.
He's like, fuck you,
fuck
ghost."
you.
Come and get me, you pricks. He's like screaming at the gun, like,
Now
settle
imagine
down,
that
buddy.
guy, like
It's a creaky door.
imagine that guy with a Viking name and like an 80s mullet and just screaming about him with 2 packs of fucking Winstons. That would be the oh my god, I can't even go on with this. I don't even have any more jokes.
Yeah,
It's just
yeah,
fucking
yeah.
stupid. I don't even fucking care. Let's move on to the next headline, which might be the best headline we've ever printed on this show.
Yes.
And Dave, because you're the new guy, I want you to read this one and read it with pride.
All right, excuse me. Man claims to have found anus in tinned beef curry.
Not just any tin beef curry.
Right. Tinned beef curry.
Tinned beef curry. So might as well just say, man found anus in tin of anus.
Right?
What the hell?
I think it'd be more surprising if he found beef in there.
Right. Yeah,
I
exactly.
think the anus should be expected.
But
it's eating around it that makes the sport out of it.
the key was the photo.
Right?
He was holding an asshole. That had an asshole in his hand.
That was the biggest balloon knot I've ever seen.
Right, exactly. I was
One of them
sticking-
toys that used to have water in it, and you couldn't keep it in your hand.
That's exactly what it looked like.
Wiggly Willy or whatever it was. Or was that just my nickname growing up? I don't know.
It was like a squishy Chinese finger trap.
Either that or someone stuffed Melanie Griffin's lips into a can.
Oh my God, we got a working girl reference.
Oh,
I love it.
Yeah, we did. But, I mean, everybody's had a hot dog before, right?
Right.
That's all they're fucking complaining about.
This one just wasn't shredded up and mashed.
Yeah, exactly.
I really just I want to actually take a moment and raise our final glass of the evening because this is our last headline and not a moment too soon. But I want to raise one final glass to everybody here at this table for not making the obvious meat in a can joke. I think
It's not over.
Well, that's a good point.
I didn't get to read my last comment.
Yeah.
Oh yeah! Oh shit! I just totally stepped on. Welcome to the show. We'll step on your
Yeah,
jokes
we'll step on you.
10 more times before the night's out. I think we've all learned one lesson here. Keep a closer eye on what Mike cooks for us.
And British people will eat anything.
That's a good point. I mean, they have a thing called spotted dick, and they actually have different levels of it.
Yeah, that's what I was just going to say. It's like, what's the next headline? Edgar found a dick and a spotted dick.
I don't know if you guys read, but like, he was halfway through his meal before he found this.
Yeah.
Did you see the size of that thing?
That's what I'm saying. Like, how do you not see that when it comes out of the
It was
was
a
definitely
$1.50 can of meat. Okay, so even in England, you're not getting a hell of a lot of meat for $1.50.
No.
How do you not notice that rectum?
That was
Just floating right on top
That
of the
was
gelatinous
80%
meat.
of the can.
Right.
I've been hungry before.
Yes.
I have been very hungry before. I've dived into things.
Yes.
I have never seen a rectum and said, well, let's move that. Even
Yeah.
in like frozen dinners, there's always that suspect like apple crumble.
That white string.
Yeah.
Yes. I've never felt the need to spit on my dinner before I ate it.
Oh my God.
It'll help the fork get in.
Could somebody just pipe in some fucking like R&B right now? Never need to spit on
Oh,
it.
yeah. I'm full. I got this anus.
Let me just spit on that, stick a finger and move it up real nice. Boom, boom. Chicka, chicka. All right, Dave, make your last joke.
Oh, shit. Oh, my God.
I didn't even open up the headline. Let's read what the authorities have to say.
See the picture. There it is. That's a full-on asshole.
It looks like those wax lips you used to wear as a kid.
Yeah.
I think it's the second time tonight I can make the Little Shop of Horrors joke. It's smiling at me. So yeah, this is in England. We're doing this shit all out of order. I'm going to let Craig edit it when he gets done of it. The best part of this article is that they have suspicious use of quote marks. And Tesco, which is like their Stop and Shop, a Tesco customer.
It's like a BJ's. But with assholes.
butt jobs.
So it should be called AJ's?
Yeah.
We can't even get one line in. A Tesco customer had quite the shock when he discovered a, air quote, anus in his £1.50 tin beef curry. Oh, there's curry involved.
1 pound. That's a lot.
Yeah.
The
Well,
brand was 2 bulls, 1 cup.
2 blokes. But I do like the author of this article put in parentheses right after the word curry. Yeah, the warning signals were there. Let's face it. Yeah. Nobody should be surprised that this guy found an anus. His name is Andrew Lee, and he found a grayish skin-colored tube when he was halfway through his dinner, saying it looked like a belly button or cat's anus. Grim. That was the end of the paragraph.
So his grocery and Amazon order came in at the same time.
Just saving on packages. That's all good. By the way, if your belly button looks like a cat's anus, seek help. Tesco has since claimed that the suspected, again, quote, anus was in fact a large blood vessel, which is much more appetizing.
That's way better.
And they've asked Andrew to return the item so it could be investigated further. Andrew at this point is wondering, I've already grilled it. Deep fat fried it. He said the mysterious object made him feel so sick that he couldn't eat for 2 days. It's probably the fecal matter inside his canned beef.
Yeah.
And so he decided to take this online instead of to the police where it should have gone.
Yes.
And that was that. And then we're going to scroll down and see a picture of Andrew. He's 30, so he should have known better. The quote, again, there was the beginning of a tube, then it was cut off, and then there was a bit of string on it, too. It's weird. I don't think it's fat. It's super smooth. The texture is like so. It's like he's trying to convince himself, I'm going to eat this. I'm going to eat this fucking...
Fuck it.
He's trying to talk himself out of, this is not like any ass I've ever eaten before.
This description, like he's done a complete 180 in the description to the police. It went from belly button to cat's anus to the texture is like silk. Someone said, could it be a blood vessel? But do they get that big? I don't know. Do they?
I don't know. They don't call us pink eye either.
Oh, right.
He now has pink eye.
Oh, he's got hepatitis beef.
Yeah.
The best line of and I meant to mention this earlier, the best line of this fucking article is this one. You could tell it wasn't beef. Well, it could be beef, but not meat beef.
Meat beef.
Andrew closed out by saying, I normally love the canned beef curry with some jasmine rice and papadums, whatever the fuck that is. He goes, it's quite tasty.
Those are cat nipples.
Well, I'm so glad you said that. His final quote was, but I won't be having those tins of meat again, and I won't look at cats the same way either.
Oh, my God. Holy shit. I'd rather find a thumb.
You should know where it came from.
Yeah, exactly.
You have a mystery anus.
Yeah.
Like, it's an anus. It's a question of what animal.
What animal did it? Yeah, was it a factory worker? Fell in the... Oh, my
Makes
God.
you wish you opened that package of chicken nuggets to find a chicken head.
Yeah, exactly. I find a beak.
It's from a chicken.
Right. I would rather have a beak in my chicken McNuggets than an asshole.
Beef asshole.
A beef asshole.
But not meat
But not
beef.
the meat beef.
Yeah, not meat beef.
Craig, I'm going to let you work your magic in editing.
Oh, my God.
Gentlemen, we had plans for a roundup. I don't even think we can end with anything other than meat beef.
No, meat beef was
So I am closing out the links.
Yeah.
Let's do a little housekeeping and wrap this shit up for Dave's very first episode. Actually, you know what? Before the housekeeping, one last time in the middle. Dave, welcome.
Welcome
Thank
to
you.
the
It's been
show.
an absolute pleasure.
It's been a blast.
Tonight was a little disjointed. We'll admit that. It was thrown together at the last minute. It may or may not have been written for 4 people. That aside, I'm sure he's sitting at home making a meat beef casserole worth remembering.
So he's ordering tins of beef on Amazon by the case right now.
I could just see him screaming, Leslie, how do you spell Tesco.com?
Yeah.
Anyway, a little housekeeping. It's been a while since we've done an official housekeeping, so I think we need to go back. Buy our shit.
Yes.
The meat beef T-shirt will be out soon.
Yes, there's going to be a meat beef T-shirt. Yep.
Purveyors of meat beef.
And we'll be adjusting the logo soon.
Yeah, we're going to be making some
gonna
logo changes, so that means a lot of our swag, which means if you have a 3-headed logo one, that is now a collector's
That
item.
is a collector's item. It's
Stock
a rare.
up.
Yes.
Stock up. You go to teespring.com, do a search for Needless to Say Swag Shop, check us out there. And while you're at it, you can also find all these links on our social media pages. That's Facebook.
It's Needless to Say Podcast on Facebook, NTS_podcast on Twitter, and NTS_podcast @gmail.com.
And it's also NTS_podcast on Instagram.
Instagram, that's right. We're on Instagram.
It's great. Yeah, we signed up for it the week of Comic-Con and haven't posted since.
No.
But
It's there.
but
It's there.
It is there.
Come and look at the blank shit.
Yeah. It's a moment in time.
Yeah.
I think it makes sense. The first post on there should be beef anus.
Yep.
Meat beef.
Right? Meat beef. Meat beef.
Fine provisions. Some kind of gothic font.
Some gothic font. Oh, shit.
Also, let's give another shout out to all of our brothers and sisters over at Damaged Goods. It's been a while since
Yes,
we
it
shouted
has.
them as well.
Yep.
And that includes the ladies of Daddy Issues. Ladies first, folks. I don't care what the X dictates. Ladies go first.
Yep.
Here at Damaged Goods. And so that would be the ladies of Daddy Issues, the gentleman from the flagship at Damaged Goods, our buddy Clay Miles at Clay Miles in the Basement. Everybody who wants to get a little bit higher over at Baked and Awake.
It's Steve at Baked and Awake.
And, of course, our newcomer friend over at The Broast.
Yep.
So we're giving shouts to everybody. I wasn't sure if they were even doing a show, but they've been tweeting the fuck out of us.
Yeah.
So I'd like to give a thanks to them. And let's, it's a new year, a new start. Let's get back on this horse.
Let's do it.
Ladies, gentlemen, and children of all ages. Before we go dive into whatever meat beef I got upstairs, any other final words from you two?
I can't.
That's it. Hepatitis beef. That's it. I checked out.
That's it.
That was the end of the show for me.
Yeah.
I'm out.
That was.
Well, in that case, take us the fuck out of here, Dave.
Yeah.
Needless to say, we said it.